You look at the team selection, to be honest, I don't know what you think. Swanee, maybe Auston Trusty ahead of Dane Murray in retrospect might have been the best way to go. But I think what Brendan Rodgers said before and after the game was that he wanted a balance at the centre back. He doesn't want two left-footed defenders, central defenders, which is why Dane Murray was kind of thrown into the deep end, if you like. So I think maybe Auston Trusty was maybe the only call which he would maybe rethink. But I think Dane Murray's going to get a run in the team, to be honest, despite his mistakes. I think him and Kobe Donovan will start on Wednesday.
You know these things are like, Daniel, half the supporters will think to themselves, that's the manager sending a message to the board. He's telling them that's what he's been left with. He's been left with kids. Why is he not playing his £6 million centre half? Why is he not playing in Scotland International? The other half will say, if you look at the selections, as Ryan says, on an individual basis, the manager clearly likes Dane Murray, thinks he's a right-hand sider, which is probably better if he's got Liam Scales, a left-hand sider on the other side. And he thinks, clearly, he's spoken highly of Colby Donovan, as Ryan knows all the way through, and he obviously thinks that's a better bet. I can understand, given the situation Celtic were in, missing a lot of experienced players, why you would maybe consider, not the choices individually, but as a collective, that maybe two kids in there coming here might not have been the wisest. It's okay with hindsight, but I think we even said it before the game. But even if you think Murray's maybe a better bet than Trusty, or Donovan's maybe a better bet than Ralston, just for experience, it might have been an idea just to pick one of the senior guys, if not both of them.
Now, the thing is, I can understand the argument from Brendan Rodgers when he does talk about the balance, because obviously Celtic wanted to put out from the back, two left-footed centre-backs isn't ideal. But Trusty and Liam Scales were excellent in the Champions League last year. Keeping clean sheets away to Dino Zagreb.
That's a very good point.
So, they've already kind of formed that partnership last season, so I wouldn't be, so reluctant to obviously partner him up again this year. Obviously, Auston Trusty hasn't played in a while. He's got that troublesome foot injury, so a bit rusty, if you like. But I just feel sorry for Dane Murray, to be honest, today. I hope it doesn't shatter his confidence. I know he's 22, so he's not exactly a kid. But this was his big opportunity. He didn't go to plan, but I'm sure he'll have plenty of opportunities ahead, especially with Cameron Carter-Vickers out for 5 months.
We obviously mentioned Brendan Rodgers there, guys. What was he like after the game and the presser?
Now, this is what I was saying to Swanee. I mean, for whatever reason, he seemed very reluctant to kind of label Hearts as genuine title contenders. What would you think?
I agree with Ryan. He's almost dismissing it, and I said to Ryan after, I think that's the wrong thing to do.
That's weird.
I think there's football psychology involved here, and Brendan Rodgers is a master at this kind of stuff, and he's kind of playing them down, and it's early doors. Brendan Rodgers knows better than me. But see, if that's me, I'm saying Hearts are the real deal. We've got them to catch now. They're the team. They're the team that's sent. And pile some pressure on the Hearts and make them feel like, oh, right, okay. But listen, as I say, Brendan Rodgers knows better than me. But if it was me, I'd have been praising Hearts to the hilt.
I'm just a bit surprised. If this was Rangers 8 points clear, then it's a different ballgame. But because it's Hearts, he seems quite reluctant to quite to label them as title contenders. Maybe he's looked at Aberdeen last season and saw they kind of fell off a cliff. But I think Hearts are totally different animals. As it proved today. They're the real deal. I think they're going to. I mean, if they can manage to keep this lead or even extend it by Christmas, wow, Celtic have got a long way to go to all that.
And the fascinating flip side to it is, Daniel, Derek McInnes did exactly the opposite. He did what we're talking about. Celtic can still spend millions. They've got loads in the back. They can do this. They can sign this. They've got loads of advantages over the rest of us. He's keeping it off his team and trying to keep it on to Celtic. You're the big team here. You're the big club with all the money. You should be doing this and that. I mean, his quotes after the match I thought were fascinating when he talked about that. The huge advantages that they have over everyone in the league. I thought that was fascinating.
Do you think he's saying that internally, or do you think he's telling them, listen, boys, that was a real statement when we've got a chance?
I think what managers tell us publicly what they tell their players are two very different things on a daily basis.
I mean, everyone at Hearts must truly believe in this. This could be the year. They'll never have a better chance, Daniel. They never will. Rangers and Celtic in disarray. Hearts are on the rise. The atmosphere today, once especially when they get that second goal, it was electric. And with this crowd, with this magnificent stadium, I don't think any team will fancy their chances coming here. They can really make us a fortress this year.
Yeah, there still is a wee bit of an edge here, Daniel. I must admit, I did notice in the derby when it was kind of 0-0, so 40, 50, 60 minutes. wasn't as boisterous as you would expect it to be. And at 1-1 today, there was almost that kind of edge of, oh no, is this the day when the bubble bursts? No. As Ryan says, when the second goal goes in, then it takes off again. But, you know, the Hearts fans will know the time that the team need them is at 1 each.
We've only got a minute or two left, guys, but I suppose you've kind of stolen my thunder there, Swanee. It was almost a year to the day. You and I had a chat like this outside Pittodrie. Aberdeen had just beaten Rangers to go 9 points clear of them, joint top with Celtic. In the end, they finished 39 points behind Celtic and 20 odd behind Rangers. But watching that in the telly today, I don't know if it felt the same in the stadium. This feels like a real, genuine assault from Hearts.
Here's the huge difference. Last year, Celtic won 16 of their first 18 league games and drew the other 2. Yeah. That Celtic team last season looked like it could win 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games in a row.
Yeah.
That Celtic team that played today and played at Dundee last Sunday do not look as though they could win 2 or 3 games in a row. That's the difference this year.
I completely agree, guys. It's an absolute pleasure as always having you in the hotline. Safe travels up the road.
Thank you.
All the best.
Cheers, guys. Craig Swan and Ryan McDonald there. Keith, I've got tons of comments coming in. Will I throw a few at you?
Yeah, go for it.
Davey Hoops is one of a number of fans pointing the finger at Brendan Rodgers. For me, that's in Brendan Rodgers. Any time I've seen Murray's a bomb scare. Trusty and Scales did a great job last season, especially against Atalanta. He's his experience today. Still don't think we would have won, but we not conceded 3. Bob says 2 sackings tonight, Jimmy Tilleen and Brendan Rodgers. This one, let me have a look. Sorry, my screen actually froze on me. So if you want to jump in there, Keith.
I wouldn't have actually put Brendan Rodgers and Jimmy Tilleen in the same bracket right now.
That's a good point. Very good point.
But yeah, look, pressure's on. Pressure's mounting, and it's mounting because some of the points the boys made there, I thought were spot on. Mm-hmm. I think Ryan was absolutely correct to point to the Champions League last season, when Trusty and Scales formed that partnership. It didn't look imbalanced during those games. And Trusty is actually a very capable penalty box defender, isn't he? The sort of, which is probably what Celtic really needed today.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Swanee's point about Christmas in October was a very good point. He thought he handled that really well. But mostly, you know, I keep coming back to it. Yes, Hearts are taking care of everything that Hearts need to take care of, but it's what's happening elsewhere that makes this feel different. It's what's happening at Celtic. It's what's happening at Rangers. It makes the whole thing a very different proposition. And I think on top of all that, this Hearts squad is in a far better, stronger place than Aberdeen were at the start of last season. And they've got a manager who's been over the course and distance, knows this league like the back of his hand, and has proven himself to be a really capable guy. You know, and we talk about sliding doors moments in football and all this, and I know, you know, certainly we Scotty McDermott, and there's been a few, myself included, found it difficult to believe that Rangers didn't even inquire about Derek McInnes when they were looking for a manager.
There's a lot of comments in about that tonight as well, Keith.
Well, you look at it now and you wonder, did he actually dodge a bit of a bullet there? In terms of, had he gone into Rangers and it didn't feel right, and there's the issues, the structural issues in there, it might have blown up. Yet here he is with a clear run at this now with Hearts. And this particular season, which might just be a bit freakish and a bit one-offish, given that it's very unusual for Celtic and Rangers both to be, you know, harming themselves so prolifically at this stage. Rangers got a result today. Celtic have got issues. There's a lot of issues there, and you know, 1-1 for Rangers isn't really going to change anything. I think that they've got, you know, come back to me. I'll do a Craig Swan on that if they go through to Easter Road and follow back up today's win with another win, then you can start to say maybe they can build some momentum. But right now, I think it's you know, one game at a time for Rangers, just trying to adapt under Danny Rowe and get his messaging on board. Celtic are the ones that you would say, you know, if anybody's going to stop Hearts, it has to be Celtic. Celtic, as Swanee says, they don't look like a team right now. They're a million miles removed from that team that you would look at and say, well, they'll probably go on a run now of 10 straight wins, a dozen straight wins. that looks highly unlikely from this side.
No chance of that.